Welcome to Cambridge Science Investigators. Today's investigation. How does a surface affect friction?
We are going to do a science investigation to answer the question, how does a surface affect friction?
This is what we will need. A sloped test surface, a matchbox filled with sand, some liquid soap, a stopwatch. Our test surface is a plank of wood. Let's put the matchbox filled with sand at the top of the plank and let it move down the surface. Our investigators want to test how the surface affects friction.
What are we going to measure?
What will we measure?
We're going to use the stopwatch to measure the time it takes for the matchbox to reach the end of the plank.
More friction will mean the matchbox will move more slowly. Our investigators will record the time in the results table. Is one measurement enough? What do you think?
We might have made an error, so perhaps we should do it again.
Taking more measurements will allow us to spot any errors. Our investigators will do the test 2 more times to make sure they didn't make a mistake the first time. Now let's find out what happens when we change the surface. How are we going to change the surface for the next part of this test?
We are going to cover the plank with liquid soap.
How does the soap change the surface?
Soap is slippery.
Will the matchbox move faster or slower on the soapy surface? Why do you think this?
I think the matchbox will move faster. The slipperiness will help the box go faster.
Let's find out if our investigator's prediction is correct.
Let's add this measurement to our table. We better repeat our measurements again.
On which surface did the matchbox move quickest? So we have found that the matchbox moved faster on the soapy surface. This is because the surface was smooth and created less friction with the matchbox. Can you think of any other factors that can change the amount of friction between surfaces?
What will happen if we use a bigger box with more sand? Let's find out.
What will happen if we use a bigger box with more sand? Our investigators add the measurement to the table. Our investigators need to repeat the measurement 2 more times. Now let's do the same on the soapy surface. Our investigators add the measurement to the table. Did the shoebox move faster or slower than the matchbox on the 2 surfaces? What factor do you think made this happen?
The shoebox was slower than the matchbox on both surfaces. I think the shoebox was slower because it was heavier than the matchbox.
Friction also depends on the weight of an object. A heavier object, such as the shoebox filled with sand, exerts a greater frictional force. This is why the shoebox moved more slowly down the slope. What can we conclude from our investigation? A rough surface produces more friction than a smooth surface. The weight of an object affects how much friction is produced between surfaces.
Thanks for watching!